Wow, that wasn't distracting at all. Let's watch. I love that you play that. Welcome everybody to Evercast, where weird stuff like this happens.
It's Sasquatch.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah,
I had to use that footage somehow.
yeah. No, I think it's great because not only does he have like a really good like gimmick going on, he can actually like he's actually a talented artist. He can,
Oh yeah, I got one of the albums.
oh wow, he can actually play stuff. So yeah,
You're weird, man.
Gandalf is the biggest. Seems to be a popular thing on Saturdays. Welcome everybody, welcome. So, how are you doing, Pete and Crow? I said that weird.
Yeah,
Right, that's what distracted me. That threw me off. I guess.
I wasn't even looking. I was getting my Irem cart out because I haven't played it since last week. So apparently we're talking about it this week.
Or maybe we were supposed to talk about it last week and we didn't.
Well, not a lot going on. Not for World of Evercade.
Well, I think wasn't it the same way kind of last week too? What were we talking about?
For like a month now, right? Like there's nothing really going on anywhere.
And that's fine. I got catching up to do.
Yeah, I think they're tailoring their news schedule around Crow's video making schedule.
Yeah. Hold off, everybody. They can't release another one until I finish all of the collections that are out already.
Right? Yep. Just waiting to get my shipping notification. I know.
I got mine from Funstock. It's on the way.
Of course, well, Funstock gets the priority. So.
With the one.
Oh man, another two are coming out. Oh,
well,
man.
Yeah, but you don't really need to play Delphine Collection. I mean, come on.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
Point Click Adventures.
10 years to play that one because it's like boring as whole heck.
I'm open to it. If I wasn't,
I'm not.
I wasn't
I
going
my
through a
mind
collection
completely.
Skip it. But I think there'll still be. I think there'll still be some fun to be had.
I don't think so. I'm gonna review them, crap all over them, and never play them again.
Well, you could actually just start making your review now.
Nothing to do with Evercade. Nothing to do with Blade. It's just not my jam, man.
Yeah, that's fine. There's been games that I haven't been particularly, not really my wheelhouse. Particularly like the strategy games, real-time strategy games. I don't like.
Pete, are you filing your nails?
Who?
No, that noise you're hearing would be me.
Oh, hand model.
Why are your nails? What am I, old lady from the 50s?
Your hand model. But I heard like it's like a sandpaper or something making a joke. But anyways, let me say hi to the chat. Because without the chat, the show would suck. No, it really would. We'd all be like talking to ourselves.
I don't know about that.
So we got Dan Nastic with his famous whoop whoop. We got Jen Joke with the Atari Fan 72. We got Tales from the Junland Waste. Jason Shears, Sucker MC. We got Dan Ruff. We got Ian Hubbies, who's sometimes infamous. We got Lemony Pie. And who else? Oh, the chat's scrolling down. We got Dave D. And yeah, good morning, good evening, good night. Hello, everybody.
Good night. I just got up.
Yeah, I don't know. We're all in different time zones. I did want to say
we're all still in North America. We're only still 4 hours difference.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, unless somebody happens to be watching from Australia or something.
Well, yeah,
I mean, just us though.
or like Japan or something. I mean, for like a
That's true. Muzz.
yeah, like Scruffy RGB like popped in once or twice. I know there's a big time difference, but no, I wanted to say huge shout out though to all of our viewers. I just finally crossed like the 800 like sub line. So I really appreciate it. It's 2 more 100 subs. Oh my god.
I don't like your subs. They give me the diarrhea.
All I can say is the magic is in the thumbnail.
Can't say subs too many times.
Oh man. So we're waiting on Gandalf. I mean, there's a little bit in the news. I guess probably the biggest thing is now you can pre-order all the other available carts for the rest of the year. Yay! Even though we haven't gotten all of ours yet, but they're up to it.
So those were the last two that are coming out like this year. So they're scheduled for December.
Yes.
Is that right? So they're not going to come till next year.
No. Good. No, we'll give them December. Good Boy Galaxy.
No. I'm saying that they're going to delay them eventually, like everything else.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
I think they're working. That's why they keep delaying the video, because they're working in the new release date for the Duke Nukem Collection.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that's the cynics they've turned us into. Like,
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with them delaying stuff.
Me too. I don't really care anymore. I got enough games to play.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, but me though, it's not about having enough games. It's the experience of the whole like unboxing and the fresh like.
Yeah, I'm over that. I've opened enough boxes in my
But
life.
you could go and buy something right now and unbox it and be excited about it.
Yeah,
It doesn't necessarily have to be an Evercade stuff.
It does though.
I just did my Atari 50th mini cave on my channel.
Oh, cool.
Pretty cool.
For me, though, it does.
Oh,
that's a scam too.
Uh-oh.
Wait. Is that the My Arcade one? I haven't seen. Okay, I have to watch that because I saw that and I was like, why would I get that?
Yeah, you probably don't need. Well, you can't watch it because it's a members only video.
Oh, that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, so funny that you mentioned that. Not only content, but like that's my
all
favorite.
My retro
content.
stuff's going to members only, just because the people who do join my channel are mostly those types of guys and girls. So.
Are we talking about? Is it like a timed exclusive or just permanently members
I'm too
only?
lazy to do that stuff.
I wish I could commit to like earlier videos, but I just show like different things and behind the scenes and like from the previous Evercast channel, like the Did You Know clips like survived. So I started that series, and I think people will like that. Maybe I might show a little bit of preview because I know some people who weren't with us like in the beginning be like, what the hell is that? But no, it's again. So like the thing is like I'll never have a Nintendo Switch. It's not this like buying modern like box game, for price. It's not the same thing. So really, for like I'm not going to buy like a box Nintendo game. Like who could afford that, right? So that's what like Evercade does that. It's the whole. I explained it. I explained it in my latest video. Am I obsessed with Evercade? So that's why like I got into the whole. That's kind of one of the reasons I got into the whole ecosystem.
Well, I saw that video. I just didn't click on it because I already knew the answer. Don't ask a question I already know the answer to, because I don't need to watch the video.
I go like more in depth about it, and I explain, and that's why the name of my channel. That's why I explained the whole like Evercade effect. That's why I kind of thought the whole thing of like getting this, the experience of unboxing it, getting the physical media, stuff that they rarely do, that they do nowadays at an affordable price. That's kind of the whole thing. Yeah, if I want a new game, I can buy that on Steam Deck or something, but it's not the.
What I find is what is affordable just depends on the person pretty much, because no matter what you talk about, somebody's gonna think it's overpriced, and it's just because that's not something they really want. So
yeah, you'd emulate Switch. Yeah, I've thought about that. So here's what's interesting though, is that like, and I've thought about like sometimes like maybe I want to emulate Dreamcast. No, but what I really like to play on the Steam Deck. And things like Hades and like modern indies that I can't play like anything else, like roguelikes and all that fun stuff. But yeah, no, I've thought about it. I've thought about some stuff I've most wanted to. Crow knows better, but yeah. So it's the the whole experience. But yeah, that's what we have in the news. It got delayed again. That will probably next week.
Just for a little while. Just a little while, they said. I'm just upset about that for you, Ed, because I know you've been looking forward to, Rich. Me, I'm not. It's just a video. I'm not doing any content on it, but I feel it's kind of, you guys are waiting for it to do kind of a review of it or something. So
yeah. I mean, and I can come up with other stuff, but it's kind of the same reason why I don't like put out is I need to get excited. I like when I'm like really into something. Is why
if you're
putting stuff out on my second channel.
If you're waiting for stuff to come out and you need video content, you can never go wrong with a top 10, top 5 video of some sort.
And I can do I can do those, but there's just something about, again, it's just the whole experience of getting it. It's exciting, the discovery. I don't play anything else, for a few weeks. I get to share that with everybody's comments. It's a whole experience, right? And that's I know. Uh-oh.
No. I got too much on I have way too many. I actually have 2 videos made that I haven't even uploaded yet. Part of that's Comcast's fault, but
It's Comcast's fault, man.
No, it is because it's their stupid data threshold thing. I'm trying not to cross it.
Man, oh man.
Today's the last day of the month, so see if I could. If I'll be crossing. I'm like less than 100 gigs away.
No. Yeah, I gotta love that stuff. All right, let me get. I'll do an oldie bit quickie. I won't do like a 10-second one. I won't torture Pete too much.
Retro Kill Dash 9.
Yeah. Thank you, MC Murr. Yeah, and I don't even mention that anymore. It's kind of like if you just have to kind of like be in the, just kind of like be in the know. And if you're in the know, then you know. So yeah, not much for news, and all that. We'll maybe talk about some cards. We'll see if Gandalf. If you're
next week I should just tell him ahead of time to grab me a bagel while he's there.
Yeah.
Grab us all bagels. And get some for our chat too, you know?
Ooh, that's a good one, Sakris. Do you think the Duke will have a secret game but both in the VS?
Doubt it.
It's possible. I'm just trying to think what like very minor was it like a Duke Nukem spin-off puzzle game or something, you know, something like that. That
maybe it'll be Doom.
Oh, that would be funny.
But that wasn't 3D awesome. Realms. I couldn't see that happening. It's not this. Yeah. Maybe Blake. What was that? Blake something game. 3D Realms. I can't think of
Game Boy Color?
Blake Stone or something.
Yeah, they could do that. Well, it's just like when you put in both of the Toppling collections. What is it? Hellfire. You get like the console version. Yeah, I could see them doing something like that.
It was Twin something. It was one of the Twin something games, and it was the Genesis version.
Mega Drive
that you got. Yeah, or Mega Drive version.
Oh, there's no secret game planned. No, no, I get it. It was, you know what? They've invested a lot of time, a lot of development, and you know, who knows how expensive it was to get those licenses. So, Land of Babes would be, yeah, that would require a different rating.
Well, no, I let's see, that couldn't be rated. It's just a name, so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm curious what that one is rated. I haven't played any of the Duke Nukem spin-off games.
I'm excited about that, but I think that the sleeper cards are going to be the Asbestos Bros. However the hell you say that, Asbestos Bros collections. You know, I'm really looking forward.
You know, if you're assuming those are going to be the sleeper cards, by definition, those can't be the sleeper cards because it would have to be something you're not expecting to be.
Oh. True. Damn you. But no, I just think people are underestimating. Is everyone's focused on Duke. Who knows? It might be that homebrew computer collection.
Okay, it was rated mature, but that wouldn't stop them from putting it out anyway, because they've put out mature rated games before on collections, like Splatterhouse. You know,
the best it can be. Duke Nukem wanted to look amazing, dude. I do. I wish I could see that video. I hope it does come out. I hope it does come out Tuesday. I've been really looking forward to that preview for a while. Really wanting to see what's going on. We hear all the hype, but I guess at the same time, maybe there's either some other issues they need to get right, or maybe they're plugging.
I think they're trying to figure out, like Pete says, what date they're actually delaying it to. So that's what they're trying to iron out before they actually put out that video. And they're going to be like, it's going to be released December 31st. So they could still say it came out this year.
January 16th. 2025.
When everything gets pushed to next. I think we have too many overlapping of cards. No.
See, when one thing gets pushed back, everything else gets pushed back too. So nothing's still going to overlap.
Yeah, but then it's like, but in 2024, we want to see those cards. You know what I mean? Like this, like, don't remember, we're looking forward to that, but everything is like old.
Well, look at it this way: you get to look forward to it longer.
Yeah, but see, with me though, it's kind of like at some certain point, like with me, like the hype like wears off, and then things don't get as exciting for me at some point. So it's like that usually happens after you get it. Not right after, but like a couple weeks though. Like usually after I've gone through and I've eaten everything. Oh, tried Journey to Silius on another device to stop. Yeah, dude, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I played all the way through that game when it originally came out. I remember buying that at KB Toys. You know, back when you could back when the only thing you could base a game based off of was just the cover of the box.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I bet that looks great on your Analog Pocket. I know what other device. I know he doesn't have a Steam Deck. Yeah, that I'm really looking forward to that collection. Who knows that one might be, but at some point though, maybe you know what? February we get a break. Maybe that's do like a top 10 of collections, or I don't know.
You have a break right now?
We'll have to see. Well, no, but they're not all. It's a weird, but no, they're not out yet, right? Like so you have to wait until till the December cards come out.
Yeah, but by February, assuming everything else has been released, you're gonna have other carts that are gonna have been announced, and you'll be looking forward to those.
Yeah, but no, if you want to do like because you mentioned like you're doing like a top 20, like if I want to do like a top 20.
Well, that's 23. The thing is like I would do something like that. People have been asking for something like that from me, but where do I draw the line? Because I haven't played everything that's out yet.
Exactly. So that's a good question. And I mean, some of you can do like, hey, like the top card so far. It just kind of depends on the mood. And I listen, I do like to do that type of content. For me, I'm just more excited about like the new stuff that's like what's going on and that's happening, and all that. But I will be curious to see if Blaster Masters is nostalgic, or I'll just be like, meh, I'm interested in the other stuff. You never know. That's what's really fun about Evercade. You never know with all that stuff.
I can already tell you that the game with the best music is going to be Journey to Silius.
It'll be worth the wait. So the funny thing, like I don't know, like you also should stop saying it's beyond our control. That's like I know every company has to like say that, but I'm just saying like that means like nothing to me. Like it's like a given. Like I know it's beyond your control, but that I know it'll be worth it. No, I haven't. So I haven't gone back to Cathedral, and here's kind of here's the thing. I'm not the only. It might be like a small percentage. Other people have reported that, but Blaze really hasn't acknowledged the issue. They kind of have, but not really. Like I would just like something to say, hey, you can your save states won't get corrupted. You can go back and you can play. And
that game doesn't have save states.
I'm not save states, man, bro. You're on fire. I'm like. No, not save states, but like you're
just the regular game saves had an issue,
or add states. Maybe I could add save states, but no, it happened on the VS, so I don't know. I
only played on the VS. I can tell you, I played the whole thing on the VS. Never had a corruption issue or anything. Yeah. So I think maybe that's a rare instance. I'd say go ahead and start playing it.
I think it is, and that's what, to be honest, like I know that they're probably smart not to acknowledge it, but just I don't know. I'll go back to it at some point. I just put like a lot of work into it. 20 plus hours.
I'll say that Cathedral is the second best game on the Evercade.
It is one of the It is one of the ones. I'm just a little bit soured because of my experience with that. That's all.
Wait, what's the best game on the Evercade?
You don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, none of you want to know what I think the best game on the Evercade is.
I think now you have to tell us.
Yeah, like now we have to know.
Yeah.
Based on what I just said, what would you think I would say is the best game on the Evercade?
Worms, no.
Actually, yes, Worms Armageddon is the best game on the Evercade.
There it is.
Yep.
Beast Wrestler.
Because it's because it's infinitely replayable.
That is true. It is a great game, though.
Well, technically, you could say that about any game. No.
I only wish it was like maybe the Windows version or the DOS version of that. I can't remember if that was actually Windows or DOS game back then. But because there's a few things missing from that version, but I mean, it's the best Worms we have on the Evercade, so.
Yeah, I think at some point I'll go back to Cathedral. What I might do is just like use a guide, try to find the optimized way to get back to that point. But yeah, that was just
sweet.
I think you were gonna say like Xenocrisis was maybe the best game.
It's pretty good.
I have to go back and play because I did have a problem with Xenocrisis with the whole roll thing. I remember having an issue rolling, like it wouldn't roll if I was firing. So
with the buttons. Oh.
yeah, so I had a problem with that. So
You
I
just
don't
gotta
know
roll
if that's
with
something.
Yeah. All I
I
can
don't know if that was intentional
once you
or
do-
not. But
Once you beat it without using any continues, and you find out like the plot is like very sinister. It's great. I don't want to give it away, but it was like it makes total sense why you can't use the potions at all and all that. But before we do go in and talk about the Irem carts, any news or anything you wanna bring up here, Gandalf? I'm just gonna start calling Rich Gandalf.
Nice. Well, did you guys talk about the carts?
No, not
Yes.
yet.
Oh wait, I thought. Okay, well you got to be more specific. What cards?
Like the carts that you are now able to order.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Rich
okay.
said no, or it said no. So I was like,
I thought you meant like the Irem collection. No, sorry. No, we did. We talked about Little House for some people that got from Fun Stock, like they're on their way.
Yeah.
Video Games Plus, we got to wait a little bit longer, but it's okay.
Yeah. I got my shipping notification from Funstock for the current set that's coming. What is that? That's Sunsoft, right? Sunsoft and Pico Arcade 1?
No, we
Delphine.
have Park Pico Arcade 1, don't we?
Yes.
Wait.
That was last one.
What comes with Sunsoft then? Oh,
Delphine,
Delphine.
Daphne, or however the hell you say it.
Delphine.
Pete's favorite collection.
Yeah. So, I got my shipping notification for Funstock, but then I went back to Funstock on Friday, because the new carts dropped for pre-order, so I pre-ordered them as well. So more carts with more of these little pins.
Oh, okay, you're going for the
Gonna be
pins
on the
collection.
way. Yeah, I mean that's just they put a bundle out, I just get it. So that's what happens with me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that cart too. But to be honest, I think I'm more excited about Good Boy Galaxy than any of the other games.
I hear you.
Because it's like, oh, it looks like a fun action platformer that may be doing direct references to Commander Keen, and I'm like, yep, thank you. I'll take all of that, please.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that game. I was happy to see that they picked it, and that's what Evercade needs to be doing, picking up games like that or Blaze rather, that may be difficult to play in other stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about what other game? We'll at least talk about two, but which
I don't know. Which ones did we talk about already?
How many are
I've got the folder. That's what I do. I just keep a folder.
R-Type and Moon Patrol.
Yeah, we talked about it last. All right, let's bring up.
Okay, so how many games were on this collection total?
6.
8? 6?
Six.
Okay, 6.
That's going to be a surprise.
What do we got? Ooh, that's a new look. I like it.
What the heck did it do that? Okay, there we go. I was like, Steam Nerd.
What I mean my special effects?
Oh no, we were on top of the video, and I'm like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Yeah, the Stream Nerd went all weird.
What's interesting about this is it was a game that was never released. What was it? Outside of Japan, was it? No.
I think so,
what was the deal with this? I mean, where it was like a very rare game that not a whole lot of people had played. Is it just because it was not released in the EU and US and it was only a Japan exclusive?
I think so.
Was that?
Yeah. Because I never heard of it before. I wish I
I
would've
didn't
played it
either.
back in the day. This game is awesome. I love this game.
It is. I especially like when you hit the guys and they go flying backwards.
Yeah, and you can use your shield, like you can use your super attack, like hold down your
and
button,
to
and it actually counts as a knockback shield.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I like about it, what I find interesting, it's got weird balance, whereas some stages are easier than the other, which tells me that they really didn't care if you spent a lot of quarters on it, because some bosses are a lot easier than others.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Well, I think that if it did receive some sort of international release, it would have been tweaked further. But something must have happened where they just released in Japan and then didn't do anything else with it. Because I don't even think it ever got a home port of any sort.
So here's the fun fact. Here's the fun fact right from the manual. Outside of Japan, this game only saw a limited arcade release in the UK. period.
Okay, that's what it was.
And this
There you
this
go.
Evercade release is the first official home version.
It's
Well,
the, okay, but it's not a. Let me clarify something. It's not a port though, because we're actually emulating it, and emulating is not a port.
Right.
what I like about it,
Yeah,
is
it's
the
actual.
bosses.
Yeah,
Like,
it's actual game.
there's sub bosses, and then the main boss on each. Like, there's like a couple main bosses on each level. But what they do is you kill it, and then you get another boss sometimes too, right away after. So as they layer in their bosses, which is pretty cool. I like that.
Boom!
Oh man.
And you got lots of explosions.
Any game that has
so-
like ninjas and samurai swords, and then for me, I got like total like Shinobi and like Shadow Dancer vibes. Yeah, I want to say this game I probably beat like in 1 or 2 sessions. Like I enjoyed it so much, I just had to play through it.
I played it straight through the first time I ever played it.
Yeah, it's not a long game.
Yeah. No.
It's
But,
fun though.
Oh,
Well, I
actually,
think-
though, when you have to play through it twice because the second time it gets harder, I think,
Oh,
and then
really?
you get a different ending, I think.
Oh, cool.
Oh, all right. I'll have to go through it again.
Well,
I'm
okay,
gonna
wait.
play this one
Yeah.
If
over
you
again.
did, you might want to watch my video on it first because I explained what the differences in ending are, and it's if you weren't even paying attention, you would think it's the same ending. It's that subtle of a difference.
Wow.
Nice.
This is like these carts are why I like the Evercade now. It's like it's evolved. Like I'm over the console stuff from the 70s and the 80s. Like I'm done. Like I don't care if they ever put out like a Sega collection or anything like that of rethread games. This is why I buy it. That's why I buy games, is for these collections of obscure titles that I've never would have played otherwise. If they do more than this, like for me, I'd be totally happy.
See, though, it also, like, it's possible I could have played this before in MAME. It's just that when you're just going through all the games in MAME, you're only, booting it up for, like, a few minutes or something like that. Oh, that's interesting, and then you move on without even realizing the whole mechanics of the game or anything.
Yeah.
So Jason
I'm
brings
not
up a
really
great
guy,
question,
so-
Chris. Are you saying that when we're playing the Technos collection and playing like something like Double Dragon or whatever, that doesn't count because it's emulation?
Yes. All
That
these
is-
arcade collections are emulation. The only games that are not emulation are the ones that run natively in the Evercade, like Cathedral.
Yeah, but I
the
think we're trying to
Cathedral's a
understand-
port. Cathedral's a port, but all the other ones are emulation, so they're not ports. They're actually emulating.
Oh, okay. You're talking about being. See, I was getting confused because I'm like, but no, those games are a port to the arcade, but they. Okay, that's what you mean by
no.
port.
When they
Okay.
port a game, they make it so it runs natively on the hardware.
Yeah.
And
versus
made for the
emulate.
hardware.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes more sense. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Jason. I was thinking the same thing. Like I thought maybe because it was emulated, it still wasn't. Gotcha. I was way overthinking that.
Yeah, with emulation, you're literally taking exactly the same code and running on a machine that's
Yeah.
emulating that hardware.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. No, we know. No, I got you. Yeah. No. Yeah. That makes sense.
That's why, like, the
But yeah, no.
console wars in the 90s were way more interesting than they are now, because it was interesting to see how the different games were ported, whether or not the Genesis version was going to be better than the Super Nintendo version or vice versa. And you could tell the differences between the two just by looking at them.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, these arcade collections are top. That's what I'll take these arcade collections over like almost even over like indie. I'll say like as much as I loved it, like I've never had a bad arcade collection, even the Atari.
Well, okay, Ian Hobbies is saying Blaze added improvements like in the Hunt, but I don't see what they could have improved because, again, that's just the arcade ROM.
I
Well,
don't think
I think-
anybody could have ever finished In the Hunt in the arcade when it first came out. It's impossible.
Yeah. No, but Ian's right though, because we've heard like Blaze they'll do like little tweaks. I mean, because you're paying for emulation, they want to give you some.
Okay,
like
well-
they do like little tweaks that maybe you wouldn't notice unless you compared it to the main. But
Well,
I
still,
welcome
though,
that.
if they're altering the ROM, it's still not a port. They
No.
basically are making it. Yeah, it's still running on
Correct.
like emulation.
I think they're just like tweaking the emulation settings, but yeah, In the Hunt would be, man, yeah, that.
Well, even if they were adjusting the ROM itself somehow,
Yeah.
like they are making some changes to ROMs. Like they're removing like the original publisher or something like that from like the Earthworm Jim ones, like the Earthworm Jim 2. They blanked out the Nintendo logo at the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I wouldn't consider that to be
No,
a
no,
port
he
because
no,
it's
he agrees
still
with me.
the Super
He was
Nintendo
just-
version. It's just altered.
I think that was just more of a general statement. He was saying that Blaze, and which is great. I mean, they should make improvements, which is awesome, and I'm glad that they do stuff like with Breath of Fire too. Like they made the text bigger. They adjusted, they changed the font so you could read it better. Things like that on the handheld. So yeah, I think that's excellent. But yeah, arcade.
Biggest mystery is why couldn't we get Double Dragon, the first Double Dragon, the arcade version?
They didn't get the license. That's plain and simple.
See, that's what's interesting. Like, I don't know why they can't just be very vague and just answer that and just say it was
we just say screwed up. We didn't have the license.
Yeah, or just
that's exactly what happened. I don't buy this ran like crap because every version of it runs like crap no matter what platform you play it on. So that's where I feel there's a little bit of dishonesty on that one.
Well, that they say that, and then they put Double Dragon 3 on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I wish
so
they
could
just
said, "Oh yeah, we didn't have the license for it."
Yeah, or just say it had nothing to do with licensing. I would, if that was really the answer. Yeah, just be vague, but just Oh, so in the hunt. Okay, see, funny that it had lag issues. So maybe if they were concerned, I agree with you, Pete. They could maybe make it not have lag if they wanted to, or just not worry about it.
It's not about the lag. Every version of that game that came out on other consoles have lag in it. It's a blatant lie. That's all they need. Like, that is not true. I've played it on Switch. I've played it on other consoles, and it's got the same lag. Like,
well, it's funny because just like when you beat bad dudes, and we've talked like at the end, like that version of the ROM at the end, like when the president talks, you don't actually get to see the words. So if you've never played it, it doesn't make sense. And I remember, Carl, like you played it like in the arcade 1-up, and
yeah, I have the arcade 1-up.
Yeah. So I just, and you bring up a great point though, Pete. I wonder if, it's like, do they just not want to admit that it's a mistake, or were things like this done intentionally?
I think it's exactly that.
But it was a mistake?
It's more likely a mistake, because lots of those.
They add it in their trailer, because remember, they put it in their trailer, so they had every intent to release it, and then they probably realized, oh my gosh, we don't have the rights to that.
Or they actually forgot to put it in the collection.
That would be silly.
Well, okay, you're talking about silly. We still have Asteroids instead of Asteroids Deluxe.
All right.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, I mean, there's turning a blind eye to stuff is different. Like, I mean, admit your mistakes, people will forgive you. I mean, like, but if you keep just not admitting it, well, I don't know.
Yeah, and and I guess so. That's kind of my whole. I guess my thing with Blaze is that sometimes I want definitive things. Like, I wish they would just say, like, the Atari port, like, be like, hey, we're just not going to fix it. Like, just and then just move on. You know what I mean? Or just say, like, we're going to fix it this year. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is, and just hey. But I guess they probably worry if they admit guilt that people will want their money back and stuff. Well, that's part of being the big boy and being in a company, like running a company. You have to be accountable. If they don't want to be accountable, get out of the business world. So I see it.
I'm just amazed that I completely played this game wrong.
Really?
Yep.
Were you not holding your button down for charging and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah. You have to. Once you play it that way, it's completely different once you start playing it that way.
Yeah,
it's a much easier game when you hold your button down, deflecting. Even bosses, you can deflect their. They'll throw swords at you. I think later on, this is only middle part of the game.
Yeah,
or 3/4 through. But you can deflect their sword back into them. But it's not almost worth doing just to keep damage off yourself, because you don't really damage them very much with their own sword.
Right. Yeah, I mean, oh man, just
this is what
I mean, I would spend like 5 to 10 minutes on a boss.
Oh yeah, no, you'll never take it down.
They're so damage spongy. Like if you're not charging.
And the longer you hold it down, the not only is it more powerful, but it goes further. So you can avoid their attacks by being on one end of the screen. They all have the same pattern, like the humanoid bosses.
Mm-hmm.
It's the machines that give me trouble sometimes because they're more static and they have the guns and stuff.
That's awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
To answer your question, Gen Joke, it's 100% the Genesis version You can tell by the button layout. I think they're making a Super Nintendo. I wish that we would have gotten more of a native port because then you could see you could see your items and stuff on the side.
Well, that was before
we
they
get
were
save states,
doing the. That was before they were doing the native games. I think.
Yeah.
That was like one of the earlier collections.
Before. Yeah. Long before, but yeah, this game is amazing. Just everything. I guess though, to balance it out, we're gonna have to talk about a game that isn't amazing.
Oh really?
Yes.
I
wonder if it's good.
Maybe.
Which one is not amazing?
I'm waiting to see what
it's the worst game on the cart.
Well,
we'll see about that.
It's the worst game on the cart, he says.
Okay, I bet you it's not what I consider to be the worst game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to say your worst game, not the worst game. You can't speak in definitive statements like that.
I knew you were going to pull this one up. This game is great.
Y'all will agree with me on that.
Once you realize this is not a football game, it's a great game.
Don't try to play it like Madden.
Yeah, definitely don't try to play it like Madden. That's not
Because my initial reaction to this was I didn't like this game, but when you figure out what this is really about, it becomes really fun and because I was always throwing interceptions like every pass.
Yeah.
And then when you get used to it, you realize what you're doing wrong, and you can actually start to really get far in the game.
But do you like this game better than
what? Lightning Swords?
But
no,
do you like this game
better
than any other games on this collection?
Yes.
Than anything
there is
else.
one game there's one game I don't like on this collection. That's why I said it's the worst one
on the cart because
looking at my ranking,
there's a game that you like.
There were two. Oh, you know what? I've actually put this above Moon Patrol.
Oh, you're a madman.
What?
I like this. I do. I like this more than Moon Patrol.
What are you smoking?
Actually, Moon Patrol. I put number 5 out of 6.
You're just a angry man.
But I still like Moon Patrol. It's just that I liked all those other games more.
No, my whole. I mean, listen. It's like the thing I love about Evercade getting all these other licenses, but off-brand sports games, and that's really aren't just that good. I just don't.
Yeah. Actually, you made it. It took me a second to realize. He said you do need to play this with a joystick. I played this on the Evercade VS with an arcade stick. It's great. You play it on the handheld, it sucks.
I know. I played it on the handheld. It's perfect.
It's so hard to break free of those guys with the D-pad.
Just get good.
Just get good.
Well, good. I think I've said this before too. My other biggest issue with sports games is that growing up, I rarely ever played them solo except at practice. In my opinion, the fun is to be had by playing co-op on this.
This is just a sports game in its theming. You could totally change the graphics around and say it's some other type of game, and it wouldn't no longer be a sports game.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game plays way better with a joystick.
Yeah, it makes sense because I noticed there's kind of stickiness or stiffness. Yeah, I can totally see that with a D-pad.
And what's funny about this is if you played the NES version of 10 Yard Fight, the NES version is not this game. They took this game and altered it to try and make it a real football game. Yeah. Huh.
Where if you get an interception, you actually lose the ball.
We're just talking.
Yes. Yeah. You actually have to play defense in that version of the game. Yeah. And in the arcade version, even if you're playing 2 players, you're taking turns. You're both playing offense. You never play defense in this game.
Hey, Phantom, I think everyone likes a good stick. I agree with you. Oh, dear Lord. Jackie's making the comments. I can't not say nothing. But yeah, to balance out, we'll save the other 2 for the next time, because otherwise I feel like
he's wide open.
Oh, that was awesome.
But yeah, for me, this is one of those ones. I think
he's going. He's at the 10.
The Worms games.
Oh.
So do you guys? I was gonna ask. Do you guys go back to this? Because this is one of those ones I played in first impressions, and then I'm like, never went back to it.
I would go back. If I ever caught up, I might go back to games, but I'm always pressing forward.
I'm always going back to games because I take my Evercade with me if I go somewhere. Like,
honestly, if I took my Evercade with me,
kids or something like that, I always got my Evercade.
I wouldn't play this on the handheld.
Why not? It works fine.
I don't like the D-pad to playing this. I'd
That's your problem. That's a Crow problem.
Your D-pad.
Yeah, it's my problem, and I'm avoiding it. So I wouldn't be playing this.
Yeah, but you gotta make sure to say that it's playable with the D-pad because I played the game and scored touchdowns.
Okay, it's more playable with the joystick.
I don't know that because I never played it with a joystick. All I know is that, but because to say like just let's be careful and tell people that it is very playable on the handheld. Like there's nothing wrong with it.
I just can't break tackles. Oh yeah, I have to play with an arcade stick.
Yeah. Dude, I bet playing it on something like that or like in at games would be awesome.
It's still the same game though.
It is, but no, I agree though. Like the peripheral makes all the difference.
Oh, actually, funny fun fact. I just said that the NES version is a totally different game. The Japanese version for the Famicom is actually the arcade game. It's only the North American NES version that's completely different.
Well, they had to do that because they would need to sell copies, right?
Yeah, I think so.
North America, it had to be.
And I think it was a NES launch title as well.
Yeah, they wanted to go up against they get roasted if they released a 10-yard fight football game in North America and it didn't play like American football, right? So
I can't remember. Totally. Did it actually have the NFL license as well?
I have no idea.
I don't remember. I don't think it did. So I don't think it did.
No, because
I didn't own it.
Wasn't it a black box title? It was just like
it was a black box title. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't own it. I only I was on my NES. I was playing ice hockey too much.
What's funny is I remember somebody. Yeah, Tecmo Bowl's way better. If we're gonna get a real football game, it's gotta be Tecmo Bowl.
Tecmo Bowl's one of the greatest sports games ever made.
Yeah,
like probably one. It's probably in the for me top 100 games of all time. Like, for that era, like of that era, like if you do the NES era, the NES Sega Master System, that Tecmo Bowl's high up for me for top 100 games of that era, that generation.
Yeah.
What was funny is playing the NES version. I remember somebody had it. I was like, "This feels like I'm playing the Atari 2600 football game."
Yeah.
Oh, this game right here.
No, for the NES, the NES version.
The NES version.
Because like in defense, I think you're moving like a whole mob of guys.
Yeah.
Once.
See, for me, when I think about with some of these older sport, like take like RBI baseball, like I don't think I would like playing that as much now in the NES, but I have like fond memories of playing that with a friend. So I think for me, like sports games, it's more about the experience than the game, and I think
RBI baseball is still a freaking tight game. It's like the mechanics of that game is still very good. Like I mean, you press the button, he swings, he hits the ball. Like it's baseball at its simplest. It's still
if we're gonna get a baseball game, I want to see Baseball Stars for the NES. I'd like that one.
RBI baseball. RBI baseball 2 is one of the greatest games ever.
No,
okay, if we're talking about the ultimate baseball game, Baseball Stars 2 for the Neo Geo.
No,
that's the ultimate.
I want real
sports games.
That's why RBI baseball 2 is the best because you got real teams. RBI baseball 1's I think.
Oh, I don't like games that have real teams.
Oh, it's awesome.
I like the games more that have the fake teams.
Do you like that Mega Baseball then?
The what?
The Mega Baseball, the new kind of arcadey one that's on the newer consoles. Mega Baseball.
I actually haven't seen it. Mega Baseball. I have to look that up.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of, like fake players, but they got like stories around them. It's a really fun game, actually.
Oh, I don't care about stories.
I forget what's called Mega Baseball or something.
No, I mean, just I'll tell you, Blades of Steel. Like if we do that, like had tight controls, you could fight the person. It had cuts. Blades of Steel is excellent. Okay. That's like
super Mega Baseball.
Mega Baseball.
Yeah, and I think the most. There's actually 4 of them.
Blades of Steel was good. I mean, ice hockey was. I think ice hockey's a better game in Nintendo Ice Hockey than Blades of Steel. But Blades of Steel had more things going on in the game. But
yeah, I think. Well, I haven't played Blades of Steel, but Ice Hockey was just a really simple game to play.
Yeah, But yeah, both of them are like great, 8-bit hockey games for sure.
Oh yeah, Hardball was a good one. But I played on the Commodore 64. I actually have it for the Atari 8-bit computers. It's in the cartridge.
What do you call it? Used to be good too. World Series Baseball, Sega's World Series Baseball was a pretty good game too.
You have to take. I haven't really played those on the Mega
I
Drive. I haven't really played any of those Sega sports games. Yeah, because I didn't have any of those Sega systems back then.
Like I was too busy playing sports games when I was growing up. I didn't play RPGs like JRPGs. I didn't get to play those until much later in life.
If we're talking about baseball games on the NES, though, the one I played the most was Baseball Stars 2, because that just happened to be the one my dad bought, and I'd always play against him.
I don't think I played that one very much. I was just an RBI Baseball guy. But number 2 is the best. RBI Baseball 2 is the best. They still make those games. They have like
RBI Baseball.
Oh yeah. It went on hiatus for a long time, and then it came back.
Yeah, it's on the Switch, and they got better and better every year. They got fully featured games year over year over year. Like I buy them every year on the Switch. I have a blast, nostalgia, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I still remember as a teenager getting upset when they went from RBI Baseball 1 to 2 because they went from the little fat chubby players, short ones, to the tall realistic players, and I got so mad. I'm like, and they kind of. They gave us all the MLB teams at the time, because the first one only had 6 teams and all-star teams, I think. So,
what's really funny though is how many baseball games there are for the Famicom. They could not stop releasing baseball games in Japan.
Yeah. Well, Japan's the United States and a bit of Canada. Like Japan is the second or biggest market for baseball, probably.
Yeah. But they got way more baseball games than we ever did.
Didn't they win the World Series of Baseball this year? Like the big one? The World Championship? Whatever it's called?
I want to say... I mean, they were in the...
I think they beat the Americans in one of the years.
They were in the hunt this year, at least.
Man, that's crazy. The World Baseball Classic, man, this year was so amazing. That craziness was going on during that old championship. The players were going crazy. It was awesome. Baseball Simulator 1000 is more of RPG than anything.
You know what I played? I played Super Baseball Simulator 1000, and that was only because you could play the league where they had you could throw like special, abilities like fireballs and stuff.
You know what? The game they need to get on there is Mutant League Hockey and Mutant League Football, because they are probably the two greatest non-licensed sports games ever made.
Yeah,
and I finally have Mutant League Hockey complete in box on the Genesis, and it is amazing. Me and my cousin played it a couple months ago when I got it, and we played it for 3 hours straight. I did a video on my channel on it, but like it's so good. And the hockey version is really fun, but the football version is like fully featured. It's got like tons of extra stuff in it. Those licenses, who owns that license now anyway? I wonder.
Well, it's still Electronic Arts, wouldn't it be?
Oh, those assholes.
It might be.
Because those,
It might be. But that's what I kind of like hold the standard of like the Mutant Leagues, NBA, like when I'm comparing other sports games.
Yeah, because Mutant League and both of those games are based. One is based on the Madden engine, the other based on the EA NHL engine. So they're based on really two great sports engines for the time, right?
Yeah, that's why they came out with those games, is just because they had the engines and they were really good, so they wanted to put out more.
And they had more features than the version that they were based on the previous year. Like Madden and NHL both didn't have the things that Mutant League put in theirs, which was really cool.
Like landmines on the field?
Yeah, but they just did more graphically. They did like a lot of little interesting concepts, which was pretty cool. So anyway.
Yeah, I want to play arcadey fun like sports game. I don't want.
Oh, dude, there's one on the Steam Deck now. I forget what it's called. It's a hockey game, dude. It's so much fun.
I need to play that more. Yeah.
You don't have to say the Steam Deck. It's just Steam, because I don't have to have a Steam Deck to play. I don't need the Steam Deck.
I need to. I picked that up on sale. I need to go back to it. It's like on all the platforms. I forget what it's called too.
I went down this rabbit hole. Somebody said who owns Tecmo, and the answer is Koei. And then
I was going to say Tecmo Koei, yeah.
Is it Koei or Koei?
Koei, Koei.
Where's the A? Koei.
I mean, isn't EI pronounced A?
Koei? You're like Canadian.
I don't know. Anyway, then I started thinking, well, what about a Koei Tecmo collection? what fun could be had on here besides Tecmo Bowl? And I'm like, oh, there's a whole bunch.
Yeah, there's a lot of Tecmo games.
That'd be awesome.
You could do Ninja Gaiden on those.
That's absolutely.
Oh,
right.
okay, then it would be
Ninja
good.
Gaiden.
Yeah.
I got bad memories of Ninja Gaiden. I rented that as a kid, like I guess a teenager.
Yeah, we could all try our head at being Arcus.
And I hated that game. It was so hard. Like, I was expecting a Mario Brothers experience. Like, for difficulty. I did not get that. So I have really bad memories of that game.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I love the Ninja
Solomon's
Gaiden
Key.
series. You know what else was cool is the
all sorts of fun
cutscenes too. That made it like really neat.
Yeah, those were that kind of thing was new at the time. Like,
yeah. I mean, and then they made a Tecmo almost everything. There was baseball, there was hockey, there was soccer. Yeah, you get all sorts of fun stuff.
All their sports games weren't bad at all. Like, they were all decent. I mean, there's so many cool like games. I wish they ultimately. I wish Activision gives up their license. Like, I mean, will we ever see a day where Activision games come, like the Atari Activision games, come on the Evercade?
Maybe.
That'd be great.
I mean, I think so. I think we get Activision at some point.
Well, okay. Well, Activision has released compilations for like on other platforms.
Yeah,
so
I've got.
it's not.
There's an Activision collection right here on this ALU right behind me.
Yeah. Like,
you can go get whatever it is, 20 games or whatever it is. So it would be just like buying a cart. So like I mean, the opportunity is there for sure. So, oh man, you could get Deception and Deception 2. That would work.
Were those PlayStation games?
Yeah, they would work on the Evercade. Croc, Dead or Alive 1 and 2. Oh man, how awesome would that be?
See, I'm not particularly fond of most of those PS1 Tecmo games.
I don't know, man.
Deception is awesome. I mean, it's one of those guilty pleasure games for me because it's like it's so weird. It's like you're this like you're this character that's trapped in a I don't know. You're like in a castle or something like that, and then there's like all these people that just like like they're coming after you, but you don't have weapons. So instead of weapons, you like set booby traps all over the room, and then you like set up these like Rube Goldberg machines where you're like launching the enemy across the room, and then they get hit with like a mallet, and then like they go across the room the other way. They land into this like kind of pit or whatever. It's hilarious.
Have you guys heard anything of this? Getting a Thalamus collection, according to the hints.
What's? I never heard of that.
Oh yeah.
What the heck is Thalamus?
There's a independent developer out there that Thalamus is like their handle on Twitter or something like that. And it's also a company.
I saw that.
They directly said something while at what was it? Well, one of the last conventions that Blaze was at, and they were like the comment was something to the effect of, there isn't a reason that I'm talking to Blaze right now, so don't worry about it or something like that. But it was subtle, but not so subtle. Like they're probably talking with them where some of their games are going to come out, which would be neat, because that's more like indie fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, looking at this list, oh man, I don't know. That also means maybe a Dynasty Warriors. That's crazy.
That could be cool.
Dynasty Warriors. That you mean the first one that was a fighting game?
Well, Dynasty Warriors 1 and 2 are both. Wait, no, 2 was on PlayStation 2. No, never mind.
Yeah, 1. I played Dynasty Warriors 1. That was a one-on-one fighting game. It's nothing like the rest of the series.
That's fun. I mean, that would be awesome to see, though. And Monster Rancher. You can do a whole bunch of stuff.
I don't know how you would do Monster Rancher on Evercade, because the whole point of that was you put in other CDs to make your monsters.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so we can do that. So, but yeah, I mean, there's stuff there. There is stuff there. There are a couple of them, I guess, though, that would warrant a couple of those PlayStation games, though. Like, didn't Croc need a analog stick or something like that?
Possibly,
at least.
I tell you what I would really like to see next year, and the one thing for like console collections that would get me excited, I would like to see like a Japanese collection of games that never left Japan, They don't even need to be translated, but just make it playable, right? Make them like playable where you don't have to read the. That's what I would like to see. Have it be like a NES, maybe throw in a few other games, because that would be total discovery. That, I think for me that would be great. Don't know what that would be, but that's kind of what I wouldn't mind seeing.
It would be lightning swords.
Yeah,
like more stuff like that. But like more stuff like that from the console. Or I still wonder if we'll have a year where like we don't see many red.
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's really like stopping anytime soon.
Well, the indie games are red.
Right.
Yeah, I know. So that's
right.
Yeah.
So
they just do it to throw us off. What I kind of wish, what I hope that maybe we get to see it in January. Show us the roadmap for the year, but just show us like, don't reveal any of the carts. Just show us like how many carts and the colors. Like
that's what they've done.
But I think that they wait though. Like they wait a while, and then we get a few carts. Like they've never just given us a full blank where they've just showed, where it's all blank, and we just see like what like this month and what.
Well, if you want that, I can give you that, and it'll be just as accurate as the one they would give you now.
Well, but we don't know. But the reason is I want to know like how many arcade carts, how many blue carts. That's kind of the thing. Like it would tell us how many.
Yeah, but
how
you
many
never
of the
know.
different types.
I think the reason they don't tell you is because you never know. They don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Because sometimes there's a deal that happens in the middle of the year, and then they switch out their plan.
Yeah,
that's why they don't tell you, because you never you might have to pivot. But yeah, 2024 roadmap though. I mean, it probably won't come until February.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the current roadmap ends in February.
And their roadmap has never been 100% accurate.
Exactly.
Yeah,
There's always been changes, so.
I don't need. Hey,
sneaky.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think they regret doing different colors for the collections? Because it kind of, when I look at it, because I'm looking at my shelf now, and I was just thinking of it, it's like, it kind of now, there's no one color that signifies, or one design that signifies Evercade, right? Because there's blue, purple, and burgundy.
Yeah,
so
well,
like,
I mean, I guess it's like the box.
PlayStation always has
though. What other spine and what other game cartridge box size does there's not a true analog to it. It's close to like a Vita game, but the Vita games are smaller and thinner. Like it's thicker like an old Genesis game, but not tall like the Genesis or the Sega Master System. It kind of does have its own like footprint. You know what I mean?
I'm just thinking of color, right? Because now if you see burgundy in those carts, you say, "Oh, that's Evercade," but now you see purple, it's like, "Is that Evercade?"
Well,
or is that
plus now there's crossover, so now there's console games and arcade collections and computer collections.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what they. I don't know if they would admit to this, but I know what I would regret if I was Blaze. That like I would regret like not having the foresight to put the indie, to specifically put like the indie collections or like the ports be a separate color. I think when they started off, this was just going to be like retro. They thought, arcade. I didn't think they knew up front that they were going to go towards indie. Or if they did, then it was a huge miss. You know what I mean? Like
here's what's funny
collection, that should be.
They're doing two things. They're numbering the carts and they're color coding the carts. In the past, any company that has done either of those things has eventually dropped it.
Yeah.
Like
both the numbering and the color coding?
Yes. Like in television games were originally color colored.
Yeah, they were.
That's true. That's true.
They dropped that. I think I don't know for sure, but the Atari 2600 games, Atari VCS games, have those numbers on the tops of the really old cartridges.
All the Atari Core games.
Yeah,
the Corp games. They all still have them.
So I mean, I don't know if that was the numbering of the cart,
but
I'm thinking of like the Fairchild Channel F. The Fairchild Channel F had numbered their carts as well.
Yeah.
But you know what they could do? They could say, "Hey, starting this year, we're now going to start to color code the indies or do that." They could, but I think now since they've started that color code, like if they were to stop it, it would be weird because the whole point was to make like arcade and home computer stand out. Yeah. So maybe they regret that.
I think
the one thing that always
Crow, they stopped doing that. Those companies stopped doing that because third parties came in and started building games for their system.
Yeah, that's true too.
True.
That's why
Yeah,
they
that's
stopped
right.
doing that, right? Because it would be. So I don't think Blaze will stop it because they don't have third parties making carts.
Right.
Yeah.
What always throws me off now too is like you've got
That's an interesting question, though.
the computer and the console collections, the blue and the red carts are collections, but the purple ones, the arcade ones, they don't say collection, they say arcade.
Yeah, they just
but
say arcade.
but they're still collections.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
They've
get
done
that.
that with a few. With
I actually never noticed that before.
Yep.
No,
All the blue carts have collection on them.
yeah.
But then there are
that's
certain
right, yeah.
there are certain ones, and then all of the collections that will be in sequence or will have eventually others. Like they're showing their hand there. They all have numbers, but
Yeah.
ones that are just one and dones there is no number next to
Yeah,
the word
like the
collect.
Sydney Hunter collection. Yeah, it just
Correct.
says that.
Yes.
Or the Oliver Twins collection. There was
Yep.
no Oliver Twins 2, so there was just the collection.
Yeah, but it still said collection. It's
It did say collection, but there's no number. But every other collection had a number on it.
the only ones that don't say collection are the ones that have the 2 games on it.
Mm.
You know what, RMGB? I kind of
That's
wish
true.
that they would do that for April Fools and just kind of make it a joke and play into the whole thing and have it be a brown cart and poo mode. Yeah, that might sell just because I don't know. They
Just go get
put it right.
LJN.
Well, they can make a brown cart and just put the
The ones-
worms and the Delphine collection on it, and you'll be good to go.
Oh man.
Well, I could get you a magic marker and you could just recolor the cart yourself.
There you go.
I don't know if that'd work. I don't think that
Wait,
that
who owns
marker will
LJN?
take to that texture of paper.
Well, you could color the cartridge itself.
Probably need to print a new one. Just Photoshop it. The Dookie collection.
I guess it's
Yeah, I was actually going to do that too, but taking out the Peggy logos and the ones where I have Peggy logos.
I guess it
Yeah,
could.
Data. Dude, I'm still waiting for the Technos and Data East Arcade 2s. Yeah. That would be great.
I guess Data East Arcade 1 is technically collection 2.
What?
No, I mean they have their console arcade, but that's different than their.
But it's a second collection of Data East games.
It is, but it's not the second collection of the arcade games. So that's.
Does that matter?
Yes, yeah. There's a big
Why?
difference between arcade and yeah. So that does.
But
does
they're
matter.
both games. They're both a collection. They're both a collection. Both Data East.
Yeah,
Data East collection.
but that'd be like comparing, let's say, like the Samurai Showdown port from like the Mega Drive to Neo Geo. Does it matter? Yeah, this is a huge There's a huge difference.
If they were in 2 different collections, they'd still be part of collections.
Yeah, but arcade is different though than console. Like it's a better graphics, better.
What about the
sound.
Neo Geo?
Well, that's what I was just saying. Yes.
It's not. So when you're starting to blur the lines, why have the lines at all?
No, that's a great question. I wonder if they maybe regret it because now they're committed to it. So because if they stop the coloring, then it's like, well, then it's gonna look weird on the shelf having arcade collections that aren't.
It already looks weird on the shelf.
Yeah, it does. I wish they were all red, or all blue, or all purple. I'm not a fan of the colors anymore.
Just reprint the covers. Like, dang it, I'm gonna do it.
And if you're gonna have console games and collections with computer games, you don't need it anymore.
ET 2600 collection.
They should have sliced it down the middle, then like a half and
Not a
half.
bad
ET
game.
2600 collection.
It's
You
not
could
a
have
bad
it.
game.
No, you could have an ET collection because the
Turbo
Atari
One.
2600 ET is not the only ET game
That's
that
true.
came out
There's
in the day.
ET Phone Home on Atari 800.
Yeah,
Isn't there a Game Boy game or something?
So,
yeah. That's there's a Game Boy Advance game, I think.
Yeah.
Is it? It might be Game Boy
If they-
Advance or Game Boy.
if they do that, they need to release like the homebrew or the hacked version where they patched all the issues. If they do, like
Well,
release both. Or the original.
there weren't technically issues if you learn how to play the game.
Yeah,
Ooh.
It's true. I mean, like it's one of those things. I need to do something on it
Yeah.
because I mean it's sitting right there.
I just have memories of
Probably
falling
when
in
the
that pit.
2600 Plus comes out, but
And dude, I just have memories of falling in that pit and never being able to get out and just like reset. Or then
Getting
you try
out
to do
is-
something and the
getting out
guy
of the
brings you
pit is
back.
pretty-
It's just like,
getting out of the pit is pretty easy. Getting out of the pit and landing in an area where you don't fall into another one is hard. But once you figure that out, the game's easy.
it was just, and that is, I think for me, like when I was a kid, it's either you fall in the pit or the dude brings you back to the beginning and then like not knowing where to go or what to do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But we'll
That's
see.
every Atari game like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
I don't know like the Raiders of the Lost Ark game. I don't know how anybody would have beat that without a walkthrough.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you had to have the manual, right?
Well, even with the manual, I like how you're supposed to walk through this wall in this specific spot.
Oh.
You know,
That's true.
Back in the day, all those guys
Much
at Atari,
my digging it in the desert.
but like back in the day, all those guys at Atari making those games were baked half the time. So, like they were just strung out. So, you watch that documentary, a couple documentaries about the early days of Atari. They were all stoned constantly making those.
oh
games.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Atari 50th. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I would know. I keep recommending. What was that? Once Upon Atari.
yes, I watched that.
Yeah.
I have that. Yeah,
Howard Scott Warshaw's book. Oh man.
yeah.
Get the audio book and listen to him read it to you.
Dude.
It's awesome, man. I just it's probably
I watched the
best-
movie or the series.
Oh yeah, they had the DVD set that came out too. That was pretty good too.
Oh,
But,
I bought it digitally and just downloaded it.
Yeah, I had a copy. I had a copy of the DVD. I bought it when I bought a copy of the book when it came out, and then I bought the audio book a couple years later and listened to it last year. And then I had the DVD, but the DVD's I don't know. It was I think it pretty much floated away.
I'm glad to know that I'm not alone in this. I agree with you. Point-and-click games.
I don't think it's that big of a deal because I've played like games on consoles that were originally mouse supported, and I don't have like Lemmings. I played Lemmings on a Super Nintendo that used cursor with the D-pad. I don't think it was that big of a deal.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest though, like it wouldn't be extraordinarily difficult to add that support to the VS.
I'm still waiting for that. I want to see keyboard and mouse support.
Listen,
Right.
I feel the same way about playing like trackball game. Like playing trackball games. It's not the same. Not really the same. But like a mouse though, like you really need that peripheral to move the cursor. And some games they did it better than others. And
I mean, well, actually, technically, if they had trackball support, then most of these point-and-click games, you could just use the trackball like it was a mouse. Then it would work.
And I'm just gonna say this, yeah, I would have loved to see it instead of coming out with like Hyper Megatech can't have I would have liked to see them more peripherals for what they do.
Get Global Hyper Meganet.
Well, so here's the other thing though.
I know it won't make as much money, but
you never know. Yeah, here's the other question, right? So the Hyper Megatech becomes successful selling these little pocket things, right? And they make some money and do whatever. What if they reinvest that money into that company because it's a new brand, and then start making accessories for the Evercade using the Hyper Megatech brand? Why not?
As long as they're published under Evercade, because I wouldn't put it this way, I wouldn't want to buy a joystick that said Hyper Megatech on it. I want it to be like I want it to be official. Otherwise, I would see that as like I'd rather just get a third party. I'd rather get an 8-bit joke.
All right.
You know what I mean? But I
hear
what if they use that money, but they publish it under like Blaze, but like Hyper Megatech made that happen, but it's an actual like Evercade branded product. Yes, I agree with you 100% on that.
Man, the hate of this.
If it is something new like a trackball, I would be fine. Like Rich, if it's something like a trackball, then I would be fine with that because there isn't really a compatible trackball out there. So then I would be fine with it. Oh, yeah. I overpaid. Wow.
I emulated ET on the Atari 2600 kid up. Overpaid.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, if you're collecting Atari 2600 games, you're just gonna wind up with ET, whether you want it or not.
Well, but you know what? So at the start of my Atari 2600 recollection, right? Because obviously I had a whole bunch of them, and they all got very, very wet. The first game I bought was ET. And I bought it in a complete box because it's like, you know what? I might as well start here. So,
have a good one.
Some cool games and not worms.
I'm only assuming he said that because his worm cart is like above average temperature.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
All right, bye everyone. I gotta go. See you later.
All right, Pete.
Talk to you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have to go here in a bit. Which actually we can transition into final thoughts.
Nice. So, final thoughts for me is I'm just gonna do as much as possible in the gaming sphere this weekend and try to relax as much as possible.
That's excellent.
It is the weekend to enjoy those things because it is also the weekend. I get to celebrate the old B day, so pretty good.
Oh, it's your birthday this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
happy birthday, dude!
Thanks, man.
How did you not tell me?
So yeah, I'm gonna tomorrow. I hopefully will play in an organized play fashion some Lorcana tomorrow.
Dude,
There's they're doing a Lorcana league in a local like comic book and board card game store called Comic Fusion in Flemington, and I will be over there. Thanks, Dan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, in Toxo, thanks. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be playing there. I want to go today, actually, to the same place because they have a draft tournament, but I heard it filled up. I heard the draft slots all filled up, and I'm like, it's such a bummer because, it's just one of those things. Oh, nice, Dan. That's pretty cool. It's a birthday buddy. That's pretty awesome. And thanks, Ian.
Turns 15 tomorrow. There it is, clear.
That's awesome.
Dude, it's good to know that they're selling more packs for that because I know.
Yeah, so XP Collect in the area in which I live is another store. It's actually a Pokemon store, but randomly they have Lorcana that shows up there. I guess the owner just like grabs some and is like, yeah, let's see how it sells. And every time he puts something out, it sells out because mainly it's like it's me. I just show up and like, oh, you got some Lorcana. All right, let me just buy that real quick.
Sealed deck would be a lot of fun to play, and then you get to keep the cards, and then if that's a regular thing, then like maybe you get lucky and you can like sell one of the rares to like pay for the next one, reinvest, and slowly build up a deck. And
that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do. But the product right now, like the cards are not out. They're just people went too crazy with this game, so they just collected too fast. So it's like, and the only people that are getting them are people that are actively looking for the game like all the time. So like for people that are casual, just want to get into the game, it's not there yet because it's not. You go to the shelf at a Walmart or a Target or whatever, and it's just not there. So until it's there, I don't think that regular play will be a thing. There's a whole bunch of really, really excited people that want to get into the competitive play sphere, but I don't think that's going to happen for another month or two.
No,
but the company that makes the game, they put out on Twitter yesterday that there's going to be another. They moved up their run. It was going to come out in late January, early February. It's now coming out in December. A complete reprint of the first set. So it'll be pretty cool to see that. And then
you can at least play it digitally, though. I was going to say, if you want to get
you can play on Pixelborn, yeah.
If you want to get into it digitally, actually, I put a link in the chat where on the Calling All Retro Gamers, I did make an incredible, like, epic, I made a video on how to play, like, one of the best decks, or a control deck. And
it's awesome. It's really, really cool. It is, it's a really cool game.
Yes.
So our game store is carrying it, like places that host, most local game stores are carrying Lorcana, and they get it first. So Rise of the Floodborn, which is the next set, they'll get it a month ahead of time for anyone else. So they get it in like mid-November, but Rise of the Floodborn retail won't show up in Walmart or Target until December. So you can go there in November to your local game store and ask for the second set, and they'll probably have it.
What's the buy-in for like if you do like the draft?
So the draft I think was $25 was the buy-in. You get 3 packs, and then there's prize support. So like if you're in top 8, you get like 8 to 3 gets a 1 pack. Second place gets 2, and I think fourth place gets 4 or something or first place gets 4.
That's not bad.
So yeah, so I mean, but it's cards. I want to play. I want to play in that so I can get the random packs because I have all the starter decks. So I don't need to buy another one, even though there is a pack.
That's not too bad because you're paying like $8. You're paying a little bit more money, but you get the chance to be in this tournament and you get the chance to win more. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
that's actually not too bad.
So
now I would just hate if there was a place that would like charge somebody like if it with like $50. Some places like overcharging. Like, Micropose is trying to.
Micropose is trying to make it. That'd be awesome.
That would be.
What did they make that I used
For those of you who don't know, they did like the original like Magic the Gathering
Is this a different Microprose than what I'm thinking of?
Well, they did that game, but there's somebody else.
Roscoe. But yeah, no, I really like playing the digital version. It's fun having all the cards online, and that, like, I don't know. I guess, like, if you have experience in TCG, like for me, I was able to pick this game up like real quick and like understand it, and understand like the meta.
Yeah, man.
And all that, and yeah, it's totally different. No, I was gonna say, if there was like a local place within like walking distance, like that'd be dangerous for me. That was like doing tournaments.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I would have to tie me down.
So XP Collect. For me, XP Collect is $2.5 away from me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would probably.
But you know what, Rich? That's funny. It seems like during these moments, I would think of videos like if you can get in like one of those like tournaments, I'd like drafts. Do a series and be kind of like how EMC Mur does invest this on $15. Can you get games for free? You should be like, hey, with $25 in a local tournament, without spending any extra money, can I keep reinvesting and getting decks and replaying it?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like make it a challenge. Like I would love to see, and then like by the end of the year or something, like maybe then you like for that 25, you've gone to all these cool tournaments and met people and you built up this badass deck. I don't know.
That's where I was thinking. Microprose was the one that published Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah. And the original Civ and Civ 2, XCOM. Red Storm Rising,
yeah.
So,
but all good stuff.
Yeah, man.
What we're talking about, hopefully next week we'll get that Duke Nukem video, and I'll be able to do my live reactions and all that, and then hopefully the following week get like the new carts, and then I can tell you probably I'm calling all retro gamers whether we do or not of a game. We will be talking a lot about Loricon, like a lot more, because that game, maybe me and Rich will even like play a match, because that's just.
Oh, that'd be awesome! Yeah, we should do that.
Be getting sucked into that. And yeah, check out that channel, check out the video that I put up. If you want to get into that, like Steadfast is a really good player, has some like really good decks, and I put a link to like his profile like on Inkborn or whateverness. But yeah, it's all good stuff. Anything you all want to plug before we wrap it up here?
Well, my C64 Collection 2 video, I had started working on that, and then all of a sudden I got delayed. Because, like, I was planning on working on it yesterday, but instead I went ahead and I wound up buying this. So I spent a day, like, installing this.
Oh, wow.
And, and I was still, like, messing around with it this morning. I finally got it overclocked and stuff. But it was kind of the kind of thing where, like, you plug it in and then you put the whole thing back together and then you put it up and everything's working until you see something that's not working. And you're like, where'd that hard drive go? And it's like, what happened to it? Where is it? And then you wind up having to take the thing apart again. Disconnect that cable? It's like,
man, I don't miss troubleshooting. I do not miss troubleshooting. That's all I'm going to say.
No, it's not a big deal. It just had to, like...
God.
It was just had to jiggle the cord so it was, like, in the right spot. Because the graphics card is a lot bigger than the one... I had to, like, use 3 cables from the power supply to connect it up. It takes 3. But yeah, so I kind of experimented a bit, but yeah, it's like at least twice as better as the one I had before. So I'll be doing like the future Pinball FX videos I do are going to be probably way better than they were before. If they might not. At least I could play with ray tracing on, but I think I was starting to get to that point anyway. They were starting to improve it so much, but now I could play with ray tracing on and still have like 150 frames per second.
Wow, nice.
That's crazy.
So and that's why I can't, like, it's so hard to go back to like 60 frames a second. So after you're playing like for so long on like 140,
like, all you suckers are playing consoles and things 30. 120 is what I'm at.
Yeah, it's like you can't. It's like. That's why I barely touch like the At Games Legends pinball. It's only 60 frames a second.
Oh wow,
man, oh
man. But yeah, so, but then I hope I can get back to working on that video. But then I have a couple other videos. I put out that Deathstalker video. I finally made that and put that out on Wednesday. But I also made 2 other videos aside from that. I'll publish them sometime in the following weeks. They're just gameplay videos, pretty much. Like I used to do those Crow Play videos. That's pretty much what I'm doing. But I want to go back and do all the tables and pinball effects like the way I used to do it as well. So I might start doing that tomorrow. Actually, I want to spend some Sundays actually starting to make those type of videos. But
Nice.
yeah,
Cool,
but I'm starting to make some progress on the Commodore 64 video. So the
Good stuff.
collection too.
What do you
I'm
got? What do
done.
you got going on, Rich, next week?
So for me next week, it's still like getting some videos that have been in the queue and just kind of like trying to get them out. There might be a surprising video that will come out sometime next week, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. But there might actually be like something that's pretty surprising. But other than that, I'm actually, for those that are on the Atari VCS side of things, I got to catch up because now I think there's 3 separate releases that I have yet to do videos on. The GTC knows about one of them because I tried. I'll tell this story real quick. I tried to do a video that was just going to wind up being a regular Fun for 5. I shot the entire video. Everything looked fine. Everything was in StreamYard. Everything was all the cool things. Everything's great. And I put out the video. And then afterwards, I was like, there's no audio. Like there's some weird things happening in the background. I'm like, why does this look this way? And then I wound up like looking around to find out that my youngest got into the office and he just started like hitting buttons and he was like pulling things out of things and he turned off all the audio on the mixer that I have. He just turned it off and just totally didn't notice any of it. In fact, I'm actually still missing an Atari VCS Classic controller. He took it. I don't know where it is.
As long as you didn't need it, you're good.
So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But I thought it was hilarious that I did this entire video and the like 2 or 3 different things are completely wrong throughout the entire thing. So I just released it to the Good Times Club. I'm like, this is what happens when I let my youngest.
So it's just a video, no audio.
And then like if you go through like midway through the video, there's actually the game audio works because it came through a different channel.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Okay. So
the game audio works, and then like I'm still talking, and I'm like I don't know what you're saying, but great.
Yeah, I've had that happen before, but usually it's because Windows decided to change things after an update or something.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
So real quick, because we're almost at time. I cannot believe. Oh, let me just go through the poll, man.
Oh, we didn't do the
Slacking here as a host. Just real quick. So this one.
That's because I distracted you at the beginning.
Yeah, you did, dude. Yeah, and this is all Crow's fault. But just real quick, and I knew this could open up to a lot of trolling, so I don't want to go through all the comments, but I just was curious what people. I got 118 votes where it says I agree with the following statement: Blaze is perfect. I have no issues with them. I respect Blaze. They can improve on a few things, and that's at 60. And that one I expected to be the highest. Blaze got started off, but they've lost their way, of course. I'm neutral about Blaze. They're doing what they're doing. But this one was so. Here's what's funny: Blaze is 100% fail. Yes, I'm trolling this poll. The funny thing is, and I can tell by the comments, I think people didn't get this. I think they just kind of like, hey, if you think Blaze is failing, but dude, this is just if you wanted to be silly, right? Like this is just like, hey, I'm just trolling, like maybe to give people an out. But yeah, so it's got 118 votes, but no, pretty much. I think that our viewers are on the same page with us. That like we respect Blaze. They can improve on a few things, and that's like the one you know what I mean? That's like the one.
I think it's like everybody 101, right? Like like if you're a fan of just about anything, you'd be like, oh sweet, yeah, I'm totally respect what they're doing, but yeah, I mean everyone's and no one's perfect, right?
Exactly. And just while we're here, just. And maybe I'll do a preview for this, but yeah, for channel members, the Digino is live. So
nice.
$1.99 a month, YouTube. That's and then cool. On the second channel, if you guys want to, I put the link in there. If you're curious on Lorcan, and you can play it digitally for free until Disney shuts it down. But
very cool. Oh, and to answer Dan's quick question, my wife would probably it would be bad times if this went away. It's a requirement. I have to have this. it's a thing. I mean, I don't,
right?
'cause I like it, but
yeah. I like my beard where it's at. If I shave it, I'll look too young. So yeah. With that said, do have to go ahead and end it because I do have some place to boogie. But thanks everyone for watching, and again, thanks viewers. You weren't here tonight, but yeah, I did get to 800 subs, so I do appreciate all the influx of new people that have joined and all that. So thanks everyone again, and bye-bye.
See ya.